Hi, so I've done this video on the installation of a 9-inch Android head unit into a Freelander 2. There's nothing else out there that I can find at all, so I think this video will be informative. Warts and all, problems, solutions. As you'll see, I'm not a narrator, I'm not a TV person, video person. I'm an engineer. I do waffle on a bit, but I think you'll find this useful, and if I can be of any help, please let me know. Anyway, enjoy the video. Hi guys, so this is a video on a Android system for a Freelander 2, 2000 up to about 2012 I believe. Now I have currently got a Extrons unit fitted, which is okay, it's working fine, but screen size is a bit small, there's no CarPlay, there's no Android Auto. So I thought, look at options, and I could have bought a module, but that was about €50, and I found that this unit from AliExpress was €253. So I'm now just doing an unbox, and as you can see, I've got a main moulding that goes over the top of the existing moulding in the Freelander. I believe there's some dismantling required. An additional fitting unit there that goes inside the casing. Satellite navigation, GPS aerial, some USBs, Bluetooth and 4G connections there, and various DIN cables and such like, and this is the main unit. I'll just turn over the back so you can see. There's that, and this is a 4 gig RAM, 32 gig ROM, I believe. So yeah, as with typical Chinese products, I mean, it's all arranged, arrived in good quality packaging. But this is the manual, which is, for want of a better word, useless. And it gives you some indications, but there's going to be quite a bit of try and error, I think, with this. I am lucky that I have got a non-OEM unit fitted already, so some of this will already be fitted in the car, the GPS, the 4G. Aerial and so on and so forth. I mean, you do also get 4G SIM card holder on that as well, so it is built in. It is advertised with CarPlay and Android, but I think we'll know more when I start to put it together, which I will do an install video for, and then a review on the unit itself as well. I'm now off to do a load of research and see if I can find some better manuals, some obscure videos of somebody else fitting it or whatever, and when I know more I'll continue the video. So cheers guys. Right then, so we are looking at removing the fascia and all this now from the Land Rover. Now I've done it before when I fitted the Extrons unit, which you can see there, which has been pretty good, but it's got its limitations. The screen size is one of them. You can't split screen, and and some of the Android apps are a bit limited again because of only being able to use on the one screen. So as I showed in the previous video what I've got, and well, a lot of transfers are going to have to happen. All these vents are going to have to be transferred into the new unit. Okay, so I'm going to remove this now. I won't video it because there are many videos out there about this sort of thing. So I'll come back to you when that's done. Okay, so as you can see, unit removed, and I've also removed out the hazard warning, door locks and other buttons from this unit. I've now got to go and swap over these parts, the vents and the controls and some of the other little odds and sods, and have a look what else needs to be added in and changed, whatever, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Hi, so I've just offered up the the moulding, the Chinese moulding into the frame, and to be fair, it fits quite well. There's a couple of places where I might need to do a bit of pokery and mess about, but generally, I think it's a case of just messing about. The moulding itself isn't too bad at all. I mean, you can see the size of what the screen's going to be, the old screen and the new screen, but you can see that the moulding itself, although I might put some some foam on the inside as a sort of a noise proofing when the clips are all fitted in. But it isn't. It's actually very good, I got to say, for a third party non-OEM part. It's it's quite a big. It's quite big. It's not bad at all. I think there's some alignment issues with the controls on the on there, because they don't seem to line up too well. Excuse the camera work. It just looked to fall out this thing there, to be honest. So, but quite a light moulding as well, as you can see. So yeah, so it doesn't line up that perfectly there. So we have got a few issues where we might do a bit of cutting and sprue removal and whatever. But generally, not too shabby. I mean, it does fit through. It does lock into position. It does look all right. It will look okay once it's screwed in, I think. But I think now back to the transferring of all the bits and bobs. Okay, catch you later. So I've just changed over the two vents. Pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. Simple clips, nothing too complicated. So they've I'll give them a clean at the same time as well. They've popped in quite nicely. They're some little bit restricted by the new screen, but nothing of major consequences. I mean, I've just put some polish on that one because the sun had faded, so put some back to black on that for a bit to soak in. But yeah, they've gone in really easily. Yeah, the tabs all seem to clip in nicely, so no worries there. But early days, let's see. Okay, so here's an interesting little problem. The rotary dials that control the vents, the holes in the moulding for the bottom are big enough. So, where are we? Sorry, hang on. There, sorry. The hole in the moulding there isn't big enough, so it's not engaging properly. So I'm going to use a little tool to open up the holes and get a better fit. So it's not engaging, so it is in, it's there, but it's sloppy. So I'm just going to open those up a little bit to make it fit. And I'll come back and let you know. Okay, so that worked. I've opened it up to just over 6mm, which is the diameter of the spigot, and that's a nice fit. And as you can see, it rotates the vent perfectly from the back. That's George, my helper. So as you can see there now, that's a pretty good fit actually. Yeah, I'm well pleased with that. Actually fit into the hole, so very positive. Yeah, as you can see from the outside. Just these little problems, if you know what the size of the hole is and the spigot and whatever, just make life a lot easier. So, onward and upward. Okay, so that's everything transferred. Metal clips, foam from the other unit as well in the areas. Don't forget, leave the vents off when you come, because you'll have to fit the screen later. You won't be able to, some of the access holes are behind the vents, but I'm going to wire up the unit, or get the wiring sorted out and that, but I'm going to do it so it's loose like that, so it's much more easier to hold and move around while I'm trying to figure out the wiring. But pretty much very straightforward. Yeah, open up some holes, whatever, but generally, yeah, pretty good, pretty straightforward. So let's see how we go from here. Yeah, I forgot to mention as well, you've got to screw this piece on now, obviously, because it's a cheap moulding or whatever, they won't have a tool with moving cores on it, so they've made a secondary piece that you just screw on, which is one piece on the original moulding, but clearly due to cost constraints, I imagine, and the volume they're making, it's a hell of a complex tool if you've got that sort of thing. So yeah, that screws on very simply. 4 black screws and then 4 silver screws will retain the screen into this unit through the vents there. So that's why you need to get the vents out before you fit them. Okay, cheers. Okay, so I've now fitted the unit into the frame with the 4 screws, silver screws, as you can see on the outside there, the silver ones there, sorry, which is why you need the vents out, which I said earlier. I'm now going to show you which cable goes into which hole. So I've now screwed the units into the frame via the 4 silver screws that sit in the vent areas, which is why you can't fit the vents. I'm now going to fit in the cables into the various sockets. So, first one is the 20 pin white socket that's got the audio cables, SIM card holder, augs in, and the power supply for the fan. So that goes into the centre there with the connector at the bottom. Thank you, George. Alright, we then connect the power supply for the fan unit, which is there. Okay, we now connect the main canvas cable, which this connects to the main loom in the Land Rover, so that'll go into the back of the stereo, and then this will connect into the unit that goes around the back. So piggybacking, so this goes into the main power, which is there, like so. Okay, you can then connect the, I will, by the way, take these off because I won't be using any of these on the unit. Yes, mostly taken care of by the canvas cable. So now we connect the augs in right and left to the cables that we just connected into the white 20 pin. So augs in white and augs in red. Okay. And then I've also got a, because I'm taking the radio connector out of the Land Rover stereo, I'm going to run the radio through the Android unit. I've got a conversion cable for the aerial, so I can plug the Land Rover cable aerial straight into this FACM connector, and that just goes into there like that. It's quite a stiff push, this is, by the way. Don't be. I was a bit scared I bought the wrong connector, but it pushes in fine. You've also then got the connectors for the USBs that connect into these two areas here, but I'm going to thread those through the unit later. We've then got the connector for the rear camera, and that connects into the 6 pin there. I think, is it that one or that one? No, it is that one. So it's that one there, yeah, that's right. That's for the rear camera. And that's about as much as I can do at the moment. The rest of it are the USBs, the 2 GPS connectors, and the Wi-Fi connector that again I have to thread through from the car. So so that's where we're at the moment. So I shall now go and attempt to fit this to the loom in the car. Okay, catch you in a bit. Bye bye. Okay, so old unit out. Dismembered the stereo system, but keeping everything intact. Otherwise, the car won't lock. So I'm going to re-thread through the USBs. I'm going to connect up all the connectors. I've also got a car wireless card charger as well, which I'm going to mount, which I'll show you later. I'm going to mount on top of the unit, so that I'll have a wireless point there for charging the phone. But I think that's something in the future at the moment. So I'm going to start stripping out and wiring up. When I get to a position that I can show you some more, I will. Thanks. Right, so it's going to be a bit of a balancing act, and maybe I should have left the unit out connected and then fitted in, but I think whichever way you go, it's going to be awkward. But I've now connected the DIN cable into the back of the stereo, and then the tap on from the new Android unit into there. Pull through the USB cables. I'm going to have to change the GPS one that's up in the corner there because the connector's different, which is a bit of a pain, but not the end of the world. Yeah, so I'm going to keep connecting, and I will be in next 5 or 10 minutes letting what's going on. Okay, on this unit as well, the trigger for the reversing camera, which is the wire that I've got coming through, that I've sent through from the original camera, is the brown wire, that says back. It's got back on the cable there, upside down, back to front, but it says back. And you need to connect that. That will then trigger the camera when it gets the power from the reversing lights, or however which way you've set up your reversing camera. It is the back cable that needs to be connected. Okay. Also, don't forget to disconnect the aerial lead from the back of the radio unit. Otherwise, you put everything back like I've done now, and you'll curse yourself because you're going to take it all out again to get it out. And although not an arduous task, it's just something you don't want to be doing really. So yeah, so just a point to remember. I'm also going to use some USB splitters as well on the USBs. And my last system had 3. This has only got 2, although one was split internally on the wiring. So I've got TPMS, I've got a DBR camera. I use music on sticks as well, but I'm also going to add my wireless charger as well. So I'm going to split it in here, and I'll split it for power in there as well. Although I'm not sure yet whether I will split it in there, to be fair. I might keep that just on the DBR and then put a splitter in the dashboard. But let's see. I can always extend the USB cable to somewhere else as well. So let's see. Okay. Another word of warning is don't forget to reconnect the door lock and hazard warning switch and all that on the front end before you put the unit back on again. I've done that before when I was rebuilding it the last time I had all this apart. So yeah, it's not very good. You get it all screwed back together and then nothing works. So just a word of warning. Okay, so that's everything connected apart from the aerial lead and the USB connector for that. I'm now going to go and put the vents back on the outside casings and the control rods for the rotary arms. Everything else is connected. I've connected the reversing trigger for the camera. I'm just going to connect the aerial there, and obviously then some way wire up the USB for the charger that's going to go on top of the unit. Yeah, that's pretty much it so far. So yeah, see how we go. Right, so I just had a problem. I couldn't get the power to come onto the same system. Now I was messing about with the cables and I must have blown a fuse, but surprise surprise, there's about 6 fuses in the boot that actually control the stereo. So let me show you. Green screen wouldn't come on, and it was FD6. So there's a picture of the scene. As you can see on the RJB4, there's several for the stereo, and in this case it was the FD8 had blown, the 10 amp. So I've just changed that now. The green screen's come back on again, and there's power to the head unit. So yeah, if that just happened to you, it doesn't actually tell you this anywhere else, but by pure elimination and looking around, there is one in the footwell of the passenger for the stereo, but it was nothing to do with that. So this controls something to do with the optical system apparently, so I'm led to believe. But so as you can see, yeah, sneaky. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, vents back on, clips in, wires connected. Just got to do the sat nav now, which I'm pulling through and sticking on because the old one had the wrong connector on. And then put the extension lead on for my power charger for the wireless. So that's that done as well. Put a splitter, USB splitter in the glove box, which is easy to reach that gap there where the wires come from. Yeah. So all being well, in the next hour or so, I should be ready to go. I mean, I'm not even going to try and video with one hand and try and put this on, so there's no chance of that happening. And I've got my trusty George is a pug, he can't use the camera, so, but you know, it's going to be awkward. Let's be fair, it's going to be awkward. I haven't connected the radio aerial yet because I can't have that, or the air connection for the hazards and locks and whatever. We get again, turn it over, fit, and then put it on. So it is going to be difficult. It is going to be awkward. Let's not say it's not going to be. But so yeah, probably the most awkward part of the entire job, to be completely honest. So yeah, let's see how we go. Catch you in a bit. Right, so here we are again. I've now completed the Installation, everything's working. Got the rear cam working. The dash cam working now, which is fine. Which is the Extron's version, to be fair. It's really good, really good. That's linked by USB inside at the back. The reversing camera now works. I'll just show you that. That's pretty cool. So I'm happy with that as well. So yeah, that's all cool there. Even with a directional grid as well, which does work. I've also got the Agama on there as well, which I may go back to as my default car starter launcher. Sorry, whoops. Yeah, so that's all pretty cool. I'm just linking the things back into it now, so just configuring that. There's a video out there of the Agama, what I think about it, because I think it does look the most OEM sort of heads-up display for the car. I like it. I think I would definitely go back to it. Definitely. Yeah, it's probably the slickest launcher out there without a doubt. And as I say, it looks more OEM than any other one I've come across so far. There are ways. It hasn't got Apple CarPlay. It hasn't got Navi, Android Auto. It has got mirroring options. I need to play with those because it could be built in there somewhere, but I don't think. And to me, to be fair, it's not the end of the world. It's one of the reasons, not one of the reasons I really bought it. It was a nice to have. I think they just say that you've got access, you can mirror the screen, blah blah blah, but yeah, maybe it's an option they didn't include on this one, I don't know. But more than happy with it, and I think for me, the screen size, the speed of processor, which is phenomenally quick, and the radio works, which is great because, as I say, I plugged in the Spanish, plugged in the air relief in the back of the radio into this unit, and yeah, I've got to mess with that as well. But yeah, really happy. Yeah, I'm going to try and mess around, get some split screens up, and maybe I'll do a video on that as well. But for now, I am signing off. I think the video's complete. Hopefully this will be of use to you if you're going to try and fit one of these things. There's many of them out, and I suppose as there's no videos out there of people fitting them, it puts people off. So hopefully it'll help. Any questions, anything I can help with, please leave me a question in the comments, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Yeah, so enjoy and take care.
A few moments later.
Hi guys, me again. Just to let you know that yes, I can get CarPlay on this. I was mistaken here, and I thought you couldn't with the mirroring services. I was looking at the wrong app. It's highly technical, me again. But no, it works perfectly. Automatically links onto the phone. So yeah, more than happy. Full functionality. Maps there, works perfectly. He says, there you go. So it's all yeah, it's all pretty good.
So thank God that's over. I mean, it's over, right? There's not more, right? I mean.